Left. Come on, hold your heads up. Look up, boy. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left.
I'm absolutely certain that crime begins at -5. Now, I think any head teacher of a school, which is a city school particularly, where this area might be saturated by juvenile delinquents, if in truth they were to go into the children at the tenderest years, say coming into the school at 4 3/4, and they were to take some kind of simple records of their home background, their environmental background, everything, and related it to their backwardness, and then find their antisocial activities at school, they would find something very much connected, and they would see, I think, their budding delinquent. Of this I'm certain.
Bring your arms then, come on, up, 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 left, right, left. That's better. Left, left. Right. Now you have arrived at Wormwood Scrubs. You will be given a letter and a visiting order this morning. I want you to send it to your parents. Not your girlfriend. Let your parents know that you're here. Now you have 10 days in which to make your mind up whether you're going to appeal or not. Decide and then come down and see me in my office, and we'll get it all sorted out for you. Now if you have any problems, any queries, anything at all, come down and see me. Now you must keep yourself clean, tidy, properly shaved, and keep your cell clean. If you have any problems, come and see me. Now, any questions?
Over 8,000 young men are sent to penal institutions each year.
Jones E. Sir. 421. Atherton. Sir. 422. Brennan. Sir. 423. Craig. Sir. 425. Degg. Sir. 426. Evans. Sir. 428. Knox. Sir. 429. Swan. Sir. 430. Sweeney. 431. Waring. 432. Waterhouse. 433.
A lot of people, I mean, when I was in Borstal, they turn around and say, well, this boy's had a hard life. If he had had a decent family, decent home life, he wouldn't be like this. Well, I disbelieve this all the way. I mean, I've always said this and I always will. When a person's 11 years old, like I was when I first got into trouble, I think he's old enough and quite capable to make up his own mind, whether he's going to go straight or be dishonest. I mean, when I was 11, I knew which was right and which was wrong, and to me, it was easier to be crooked than it was to go straight. It was worth more to me. I could get more out of it. So I don't blame my family. No, definitely not. I think what I do blame, though, is when I had no family to go to, I had nowhere to go. People seemed to think, well, he's not my problem. You know, it was someone else's. When you get to someone else, it's not his, it's somebody else's. It's always passed along the line.
Anyway, I was picked up eventually, sent to London Sessions. I was 15 then. And I was sentenced to 12 months YP in Lewes. When I went there, God, dear, never been anywhere like it before. Locked up behind doors, you know, blokes 20, 21, you know, hardened blokes, done proof schools, ball schools, done everything, you know, knew the ins and outs. That's when I really started learning then. Most of the fellas I got mates with down there, I'm mates with today, you know. And from silly little things, I went on to bigger things, you know. And I started there. That's where I really started there.
What? Yes, sir. Governor, sir.
Wormwood Scrubs Youth Wing exists in the main to allocate boys sentenced to Borstal.
White, 2374, yes, sir. Number. White, Michael James, what's your date of birth, son?
11th of August, 45, sir.
11th of August, 45. Your age?
18 and a half, sir.
And you live at 82 River Drive, Lamport, Portsmouth?
Yes, sir.
And who lives there, son?
My mother and father and brother.
It's your own mother and father,
yes.
Not your step-parents?
No, sir.
And have you any brothers and sisters?
One brother, sir.
One brother. Has he ever been in trouble?
No, sir.
No. And you're charged at Portsmouth Quarter Sessions on the 16th of the 5th, 64, taking and driving away a motor vehicle, no licence and no insurance.
Yes, sir.
Is that right? We have so many coming in. Time is the problem when dealing with these boys, because you are making a decision that can have an effect on their future life. And this is why it has gone into in such a thorough fashion. There are enough right places. They're spread up and down the country. We have all types of Borstal institutions, from Borstal institutions that cater primarily for farming to other institutions where the whole accent is on trade training.
I think it's all wrong, because he's a man, he's got a wife, he's got children, he's got responsibilities, and for him to be called a Borstal boy and going Borstal, it's all wrong. He's got no responsibilities. He's in there, he's getting his meals, while his wife's outside trying to look after the kids as best she can, thinking about accommodation for them and just generally looking after them. Some money worries. So, he was away for 12 months altogether in Borstal. I went to visit him. To me, it was just like an ordinary boarding school, you know.
No, I wouldn't say we have got soft at all. Oh, no. No, I don't agree with any suggestion of that sort. On the other hand, I don't say that there's, that our treatment is aggressive.
No, it's not aggressive. It's brisk, I think, is the word, isn't it? A Borstal Boys' Day is a brisk day, and as it should be, as it is intended to be. Yes. But I don't think we've got really softer than we used to be. Perhaps, maybe we don't punish in quite the same way that we used to. That is perfectly obvious.
In those days, our earliest days, would you agree with me when I suggest that AP, as we called him, and the others in those earlier times, used to base, as it were, the principles of all this work on, I think one could say, by going back to Arnold of Rugby, and, you know, the English Christian gentleman sharing his benefits with the have-nots.
I'm wanting too much. I mean, who doesn't want too much? I mean, even if you're in a business, you're always after making more money, and if you've got more money, you want more money. It's as easy as that, isn't it? You've got to have something to wake you up, see, when you're younger. Like me, it don't matter to me anymore because I've been right through the lot. See, it doesn't affect me anymore. But if you can catch a fella where he's just on the turning point and you can smack him... I mean, Borstal, it's one big kip. I mean, when I first got into Borstal, the word Borstal, it sounds horrible. I mean, Borstal was hard years ago, yeah. But today it's a big kit. Borstal, I was at televisions, walks with the housemaster, collecting flowers. Well, what sort of training's that?
Like all Borstals, the aim of Loudon Grange is to train, to reform, to make its boys into better citizens. Like many Borstals, it has been accused of being soft.
I don't think Loudon is soft at all.
A Borstal housemaster is speaking.
You have a basic discipline framework, as you must have in any community. You must have certain rules, and which, if these are broken, well then one expects some sort of punishment for breaking these rules. But I certainly don't feel it's soft.
Well, you're not at home, you miss your family and that, you know. Not like being at home, doing what I want like. It's when you're there that you've got to do what they tell you, or, you know, can't go out when you want, you know, you've got to have your dinner at a certain time, and you're inside, that's all, you know, it's a different world altogether.
Come on. Come on. That's a good girl. That's a good one. Come on. That's it. Okay. Come on.
They certainly do love animals, there's no doubt about this. Animals and small children receive splendid treatment from all our lads. An open Borstal, if you like, is a stage nearer more normal community living. I think this is part and parcel of the point of this. Plus, you can train in an open atmosphere much better. The onus of responsibility and trust is on the young men, and the lack of a wall in itself, I think, is an incentive to them for better staff relations between the lads and the staff.
Was it Borstal for 2 years? I suppose it did me some good. I don't know. I mean, it's 2 years out of your life. It's a long time, isn't it?
Pass it over front. Over.
Well, myself, I felt bloody awful.
Right, here, lads.
It felt like years, you know what I mean? But it's not doing no good, because you only get to hate the people in the places, the policemen, the judges and so on outside. And it comes to a point when you begin to hate the public, so you're just by yourself.
Well, I think most young people enjoy these sort of activities, and to give it to our particular young men in an organised framework probably gives them facilities and activities they normally wouldn't do outside. One hopes, of course, that there will be a carryover, that they'll take this into their life outside afterwards. And let's face it, useful use of leisure is going to be one of our biggest problems in the future, with working hours becoming less and free time becoming more.
Out of every 10 Borstal boys, 6 boys will eventually be successful. But 4 boys out of every 10 will be reconvicted.
Borstal, in my opinion, is a waste of time, a complete waste of time. You're better off in a bad home. At least you're in your own surroundings and you know where you stand, you know what I mean? You Borstals anyway. You've got years and years ahead of you of just routine. You're going to do the same thing today as you've done yesterday, and you know what you're going to have this time in 3 weeks' time. Well, that's no good at all, is it? Well, you can't blame nobody, really. It's just the way the cookie crumbles, I suppose. You know, it's just some people have bad luck. Well, you can't call it bad luck, really, at all. It's just the way it goes, I suppose. It's no good blaming the home. I mean, it's nothing at all to do in my home, is it, really, at all? I mean, that's what makes me sick. You get all these programs where he come from a bad home and his father's a drunk and all this. I mean, it's you. It's not your father, it's you.
Although homelessness is becoming a larger problem for Borstal boys, the majority have parents who wait and worry and wonder whom to blame.
I can blame myself in one way because I've not been here with them because I've had to go to work because I didn't know I could get any help if I didn't go to work. I didn't understand anything. It's only this last few months that I found out that there's prison people that will help you. And of course I've always scrimped and scraped and gone to work to keep things going, but I never knew that I could get any help from anybody. But, and then I've sold my homes. I've had 2 lovely homes here and I've had to sell them because I didn't know there was people that I could go to and ask for help and help me with the children. And of course I've done my utmost, but I put it down that they've had no father behind them to bring them up.
Well, you can't be with them when they're out, can you? You can't be with lads when they're out, when they're away from home. And when they go out, you don't know what they're doing. You know they're coming in, they've had drink sometimes, you know that. Well, you tell them what's going to happen, but he keeps carrying on.
I love my boys. They're my flesh and blood. I've always worked to try to keep them. And I wouldn't care a damn if they was in trouble all the time. I'd still stand by them. I don't care how bad they've been. They're my children, and I still love them.
Well, I've just said you wonder what things are going to be like when he comes back, and you've got all that on your mind. And wishing for the time to be up when he get back.
Well, I was 15 when I went to Campsfield House, and while I was there, I thought it was pretty rough. The marching, PE, and you know, the main discipline in the place was just no good as far as I was concerned.
Come on, hurry up. Turn those showers off.
There are 16 detention centres for boys in Britain. They receive 4,000 boys each year.
Okay. Those 2 ready to go in space, sir.
Thank you, Scotland. Stand with these, will you?
Okay. Snap. Ease.
How are you?
Thanks, sir.
When did you clean your shoes last?
Yes, sir.
Detention centres have several purposes.
First of all, to provide an alternative form of custodial treatment for young offenders under the age of 21. An alternative, that is, to imprisonment. The idea being to keep young offenders under 21 out of prison. This was the first consideration. Secondly, that the sentence of detention was to be of such a nature that it would in fact prove to be of some deterrent value. And this is the real crux of the thing.
Well, it's very difficult because once you get beyond the age of about 13 or 14, there's very little you can do. I don't know how successful Borstals are, but from my own experience, detention centres, by the time you get to 17 or 18, your attitudes are quite firmly fixed. And you go to a detention centre for a short, sharp shock, and all it does is reinforces your attitude. You feel that there's them and there's me, and there's a continual war going on between the two of you.
All your kit correct? All your buttons on?
Yes, sir.
You sure?
Yes, sir.
Paint on the back of that blouse like that. Make sure it comes off.
It certainly is a short sentence. It's certainly sharp in the sense that it's a brisk sentence. High standards and a quick pace all the time are demanded. There may well be an element of shock involved for the first day or so in certain cases where boys are received who have not been away from home before. But I think these are very much in the minority. I don't like this phrase, short, sharp shock. It's certainly short, certainly sharp, but no shock.
Markers! On 3! Get on 3! Standard! Hey! Quick! March! Left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Dig your heels in. Hard. Dig them in hard. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Keep the pace. Hold the heads up again. Hold them up. Leave out. Turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go. Standard! Hey! Party! Party! Shoulder!
Tie's a bit ragged. Get it changed tomorrow. You shaved this morning? Clean your shoes? Get your jacket brushed. Tie your shoelaces up correctly.
Head up. Clean your shoes. Head up. Straighten up.
Get this off here, look. Get that cotton off there. Clean your shoes. Dirt on your jacket. Get it brushed off.
Quite tidy, boy. Straighten up, boy.
One phase, step forward, stop!
Cotton on your jacket. Get it off.
Party, standard! Hey! Trade! Trade! Ta!
An ex-detention centre boy comments.
This is the one thing that I found wrong with detention centres. They weren't teaching you one thing, they were retributive. And I think the same thing is true of prison for young offenders and Borstal. Yeah, I think there's a great deal of boredom, a large element of boredom in this sort of behaviour. Most of the crimes and hooliganism that is committed, I think they're committed because you want to be recognised. You know, you're 16 or 17 and you've got no feeling of identity at all. You've got to have something and you want to commit a crime to do something to be recognised.
Are we so sure that taking a child away from its home at this early age is the best way of dealing with delinquency?
The speaker is Dr. Nigel Walker, reader in criminology at Nuffield College, Oxford.
I would have thought that the penal institution, the children's home, is best reserved for the child who has not responded to simpler and milder measures.
Yes, I agree with the punishment of breaking laws, but I think it's just enough to be taken away from your parents without having this punishment, you know, in the other way, marching, which is doing no good. Because when you come out, you're not going to march. It's obvious you're going to catch a bus.
Well, it would be very nice if you could find one particular cause for young people committing crimes, but you never can. There are so many influences involved, and one may cause you to commit a crime, and another may not. Well, I don't think there's very much you can do, quite honestly. So many people are shocked, but I think this is one of the things you're going to have to accept in the sort of society that this is becoming. A lot of the people I met in this detention centre especially weren't people who came from dirty little slums area. They were people who came from new towns. A lot of the mods and rockers that I've spoken to in the past couple of months, they were people who come up to London on their scooters from the new towns because there's just nothing at all for them to do around there.
This age group is an age group that has more money than it used to. I think it thinks more about the possession of goods and wants to have more radios, more motor scooters, more cars than it is actually earning enough to pay for. An affluent society is a society of opportunity, and the opportunity is opportunity for the criminal as well.
I think that if the public themselves, you know, took a more interest in taking in people, I mean, you see some families parents have been married for 3 or 4 years, 5 years. They've only got one child. I mean, surely they've got room for another one who they could look after. I mean, the government helped them to do this, yet they just don't want to know. So, I mean, I think if the public did take a bit more interest in the children, I don't think they would turn out crooked at all. It's just that nobody wants them, really.
We have very few ways of getting inside people's homes to see what is going on inside there that produces these problem offenders. If we could rely on the families
to report their problem children when they showed signs of maladjustment, call it what you like. We might have the beginnings of a system, but it's just those families that are most unlikely ever to come near one of our social services with one of their children. I think that if we could gear our primary schools so that they could be on the lookout for this sort of child on his way up, as it were, we might be able to take earlier action with the cooperation of the parents, because it needn't, at that stage, be very drastic action if it were offered by the right people and in the right way.
Go to town and Mary, barn of the dawn, he claimed he had